usually uses at least. Yeah, he usually uses, I think, rank 6 or rank 7 Yariki. He does like Imperial Guard cavalry too, so that's the other thing that I know about him. But yeah, he just has a lot of builds that he can use. PointMan is gonna be the attacker game. See how he can attack. What are your predictions though, as you haven't said anything?
Well, I'm looking at the armies right now. I don't want to say too much, because the match hasn't actually started. But from the looks of it, I would give the distinct advantage to, let me see here. I guess every match depends on micro, but I think this is actually going to be easy mode for Killer, at least in this match.
You'll have to see this.
Judging from the positions of the dojos, it's going to be hard for PointMan to take the workshop, and I think that's the building he needs most in this kind of environment. But again, we'll see. I think the total match predictions, I haven't really seen, like, I've seen a couple of replays for Killerfisch, like on YouTube. He looks like a very solid, talented player, but I really don't know enough about him to be making judgment calls. But I think the best I could say is that for the first match at least, I think if he uses his army well, he's just gonna have an easy time.
Like both players are ready, I think, so we're probably gonna be going into the game soon, and if we do get into the game soon, I'm gonna go over PointMan's build if we get into the game anytime soon.
And they're both ready, it appears.
There we go. For PointMan, we've got in the front 3 units of Spear Levy, and on each of his flanks he's got 2 Yarikachi vanilla, and he's got 3 Shogta units, all of them rank 6. He's also got a unit of Yarikachi that is rank 4, I think, on his right flank. And more spears in the rear, Yarikachi vanilla, Spear Levy also vanilla, and his general full Bushido, Imperial Guard Cav, and I think some yeah, 2 Imperial Guard Cav it seems, and nothing else. That's all his Cav. Nothing at all.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through Killerfish's army. Killerfisch has brought a very I would say original, or sort of a build that you don't really see a lot of. He's got a lot of cavalry on the field right now. His general's bodyguard is actually a gun general. He's got a lot of Yariki, a lot of upgrades on them, and revolver cavalry as well to be doing some backside skirmishing here. More Yariki on the left flank, and the rest of his cav force here has just come out of hiding, and that is an Imperial Guard cavalry with 150 range. So he also has some guns. 4 units of line infantry, a white bear on the right side here. We see some upgrades, not a lot. He's keeping efficient. Then he has one here with 1 upgrade, another white bear, and on the left flank he is going for taking the workshop, or securing the workshop, with 2 black bear infantry. One of them is superior in terms of its upgrades, a lot of upgrades on that one, and he's given it 150 range. And the other one has an ammunition, I think, no, it has a reload skill boost. I think that's from the general.
Here we go. Looks like PointMan's rushing up the hill, and Killerfisch is sending his white bears a bit too far ahead. I think they're probably gonna get killed if he doesn't micro them back. There we go. He's gonna micro them back, but I think the field guard cav of PointMan's probably gonna get some shots off out of range.
So I mean, this is a very skirmish heavy build, obviously, on Killerfish's part. If PointMan manages to hold his army down or catch some units, he's gonna make his life a lot easier, and you can see that PointMan's going for that. He's rushing after this white bear here in the middle. But at the same time, if you look at the map, PointMan is slowly but surely getting surrounded. The workshop, it looks like, is now being taken by Killerfisch, but PointMan has secured the shrine, which I think is going to be a very important dojo for him in this battle.
Killerfisch is sending revolver cab around PointMan's army, so maybe Killerfisch is going to try and snipe PointMan's general with his revolver cab if PointMan isn't looking, so maybe something's going to happen with that revolver cab. We have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, it's trying to capture the sword dojo as we speak. That's weird. The sword dojo isn't being captured. I think it's because he has a gun general and he hasn't dismounted yet. So a little engagement happens here. The white bears initially get caught of Killerfisch. PointMan doing a good job with his own cavalry. He's pushing forward, shooting them in the back as they retreat. And, you know, he's hitting the parts of his enemy's army that are going to be the easiest targets for his cav to skirmish against, and probably doing the most damage. Here's a charge from Killerfisch.
Two spears though, so I'm not sure how effective that's going to be.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, he's going to take a lot of those Imperial Guard cav, but he might lose men. I don't know if he lost that much.
Didn't lose that much.
I think he did okay, yeah.
But now he's gonna get caught.
He's getting caught.
Yeah, he's gonna get caught. That was a really bad charge on his part. His general's bodyguard is now also getting charged by PointMan's Imperial Guard cavalry. Point blank charge. He's gonna drop rally and try to get out of there as soon as he can. And here comes the revolver cav.
Hierarchy of Killerfisch coming in, and they're gonna chase away the Imperial Guard cav.
Indeed, but there are spears right there to follow up. He's just gonna run through them and chase after that Imperial Guard cavalry. And that's one of his expensive Yari key units. Here comes the revolver cav around the back. They're trying to do some skirmishing. They're gonna be falling back and being pelted now by the superior Imperial Guard cavalry of PointMan. The revolver cav are a great harassment unit, but in a fight like this against an Imperial Guard cav, they're gonna have a bad time. And holy crap, he just took them down. Wow. Those Imperial Guard cav got caught in a very, very bad place.
Now all of their ammo is gonna be used up on the Yarikachi. PointMan just has so many units that he might be able to zerg Killerfisch, but we have to see how Killerfisch deals with it.
Killerfisch still has some cav, still has a lot of guns remaining. He still has the workshop, and I think the reason he's going for the workshop is because he wants to deny PointMan the workshop more than actually needing it. And he's now denying PointMan the shrine as well. Yeah, though Killerfisch has got a nice positioning with his guns up on that hill. That is a very, very good position. They're going to be able to hit those units as they go up the hill at every stage, really. I don't understand why he's not using his Imperial Guard cav though, because he can use it aggressively now. It's just away from the battlefield, behind his lines, doing nothing. Could have been skirmishing. Yeah, I don't understand this logic either, but I think what he's trying to do is he's probably trying to cover for the first initial kiting stage. So like what we're gonna probably see now is he's gonna begin falling back with his guns any moment now, right there. And now the units are gonna come in range of the Imperial Guard cav, and they're gonna act as a second line of fire. There you go, and he's gonna bring them forward. He's gonna take a couple shots, and then he's gonna retreat with them. And since they can reload, see, there you go. They're gonna hit, and they're gonna fall back. He's just gonna use them, I think, as an extra line to kite. Because, as you said, PointMan has a lot of units here, and he can basically zerg his way into victory. Yeah. But very efficient kiting here from Killerfisch, I think. Probably gonna go to that red line, I think. Over there, so get up on that other hill. He managed to bring the spear levy down to a whopping 51 men. Most important thing is to take out PointMan's spears. Then the spear cavalry of Killerfisch can take out the swords while the infantry fire. And And look over here on the left side, or the right side of PointMan's army. This one unit of White Bear is about, I think, might get caught by some Shogatai and some spear levies.
But it's really good distraction though, because PointMan sent 1, 2, 3, 4 units for that White Bear.
Indeed, indeed.
That's overcommitting.
And notice that that White Bear that was used for that distraction actually is the worst line unit that Killerfish has.
So, guard cav, General's bodyguard, firing more shots into.
And here we go. Looks like these black bears are gonna now get charged by the Shogatai. They're getting volleys. Oh!
General.
What a snipe! What a snipe by Killerfish, bringing down PointMan's general is out of the battle. That was totally unexpected. He just took the general out.
Yeah, I don't have the general sounds though. I can't hear that. It's pretty weird, but yeah, now that's gonna help out a lot.
And now he is hitting these units here on the side with his Imperial Guard Cav and his generals. And his 2 line infantry units here, including this very expensive Black Bear, now completely out of position. The distractive force that was that White Bear is also gone on the left side.
But I mean, I did a good job with what it needed to do. PointMan's already calling the GG. And I think he has a chance if Killerfish messes up, which he's doing with that Yari key right now. He charged into spears. Lost like 8 men.
Indeed, but it's gonna be very difficult for PointMan here. Even if he manages to destroy these guns that are now running across the bridge and the waterfall. These are, you know,
nice guiding.
Exactly, like what he's doing right now is he's funneling these troops in these very tight quarters, and then he's using his remaining gun units, which are cav very mobile, to just pepper and withdraw. Great kiting here from Killerfish. I think this is one of those situations, Prince, where PointMan has brought an army that, while it's a very potent army against certain builds, he just did not have the build advantage here. Like I can't honestly see how PointMan could have pulled this off, because Killerfish did the kiting properly. Sure, he made some mistakes, but PointMan's gonna
I think so too.
PointMan's gonna need something special to win this fight at this stage in the game.
It was pretty much a counter to PointMan's build, because PointMan had no melee cav. So we can. Oh, I guess that was a concession of defeat.
And no GG from PointMan here. Pulling an AG Idra in the world is a total war.
I guess so.
Alright, that's intense battle, so I guess the reasons for that defeat are pretty obvious, but what do you think went wrong there, Prince?
Well, like you said, the build. I don't think whatever PointMan would have done in this battle, I think he would have lost, because like he had nothing to stop Killerfish's shooter cav. Like he had no melee cav of his own, so like, he couldn't pick them out. Like he only had like 2 Imperial Guard cav, and those 2 Imperial Guard cav got taken out. So he really needed more cavalry to take out Killerfish's cav, because that was the main thing Fish had going for him.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you look at the unit stats here, you can see that the main killing force of Killerfish's army today was Imperial Guard cav, his general, which was a gun general, and his revolver cavalry. He did a great job with kiting overall. He used some great distractions. And you know, as you said, I think he just countered PointMan. He knew what PointMan was doing, and he countered classic PointMan with classic counter build. And you know, I think PointMan, when he brought the build, I think he was, you know, thinking Killerfish isn't gonna bring a build that exactly counters mine, because he thinks I'm gonna change it up a little bit. You know, that sort of counter psychology that sometimes goes on. But I think Killerfish just stuck to basics, saw PointMan's replays most probably, and saw what he was doing most of, and he said, you know what, I'm just gonna bring an army that counters him to the T. and he did that very effectively. So now very excited to see game 2.
Yeah, pretty much as they would say in StarCraft, build order loss.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, this is gonna end up.
Shogun 2 is game of, I guess, what I say it. Like, there's a chance that your build is gonna be bad against what your opponent
Yeah,
gonna
that's.
bring.
I mean, that's one of the things with Total War is that it's like no matter how much balancing CA is going to do, it's really just not that good of a competitive platform because you don't really start out at an even place. You know, in a battle like this, PointMan was at a complete disadvantage from the get-go. The map was bad for him, the army build was bad for him, and his opponent's awareness of the style of play was also bad for him. So everything was just going bad for PointMan in that fight.
Yeah, I agree, but like, he did take like huge risk by bringing that army, and it failed.
He did. It's definite. I'm definitely not trying to say that it's something that picking a build in this game is a huge part of that determines your skill. If you bring a good build, based on the map, you secure yourself. I always like to bring balanced armies because you never know what happens. If you go with an army that's ballsy, stuff like this could happen, and I think PointMan felt it today.